It's Gwendolyn here from your virtual admin expert. Welcome to Leading Behind the Scene, your weekly dose of inspiration to equip you in business and life. Real quick, I want to with you that August Pick My Brain sessions are available for scheduling. If you need a strategic thinking partner to help you flesh out your ideas or your thoughts, if you need to gain clarity around some things, create some practical action steps you can take to implement right away, then go to pickgwendolensbrain.com and book your session today. I guarantee you will walk away with a ton of value. So this month, I will talk about pivoting. I felt this was an ideal time considering the pandemic our nation is currently in and how all of us have been impacted in some kind of way. So all month, talking with individuals on how important it is to know when and how businesses and our lives. Tonight, I have the privilege of being joined by the amazing Brenda Rogers.
Hi.
And when I say amazing, I do mean just that, for real. I haven't met a person that I know who knows Brenda who has anything other to say than I love her. And so y'all ready to get some of this goodness. Brenda is the CEO and college access counselor at Access Chicago, where they provide homeschooling, remote learning, and academic tutoring for our kids. She co-founded Rest House, a non-for-profit organization serving prostitute teens in Chicago and its surrounding areas, and was formerly a professional school counselor for the Bronzeville Scholastic Institute, where she served over 500 high schools. And that were not enough, Brenda is a recent self-published author of Nobody, Me at Age 40, I Am a Virgin, Embracing Your Life's Journey. Brenda holds a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from Spelman College, master degrees, and she's not done, y'all. She's still in school going after that PhD. Currently in, honey, baby, I'm just saying. And in human services with concentration social and community services and non-for-profit management. So, if Miss Brenda got a lock on that. So, Miss Brenda, I remember the day that we actually met. It was through a mutual friend. Rashida was having a birthday party, and we had got to the parking lot at the time. And I was sitting at that park and I was struggling. Talking about them shoes I had on. I don't even remember what shoes they were.
Black boots with them rhinestones. I remember.
And I was like, girl, I'm trying to get things together. And then we started walking towards the same place. And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, is Brenda following me? Like, what is going on right now? Realizing we going to the same place to meet the person. And then we end up having dinner, just talking for hours. And I just fell in love with realizing that moment why my Auntie Tracy talked about you so much. Because she would just be like, Brenda this and Brenda that. I'm so glad Brenda was over our class. And I was just like, and I have to say that, you know, when my aunt died, because technically we had really only kind of stayed connected through social media. But when my aunt died, like, you were one of the first people to reach out to me and just send me your love and let me know that you were praying for me and find out if there was anything that I needed, if there was anything that her kids needed. And I was just so blown away by your kindness. And I'm not even sure, because, you know, I was in a haze at that time. So I don't even know if I said thank you, but that just meant the world to me. So I so appreciate you for that. Thank you so much.
Tracy so much, man. I did. I absolutely loved her. So, and I knew how much she loved you. So, you and Rashida, I got to check on her every day. It's my pleasure.
And we so appreciate that, because that got us through. We had some rough days in that first time, and it still gets a little rough. We, her daughter and I were just talking this past weekend, actually, because it made 3 months. And, you know, I just couldn't figure out. I was like, why am I so irritated? Like, I was just, it took, I mean, she was like, you're still in the grieving process. She was like, you got to remember that. You think you just moving on. She was like, it ain't been that long, boo. And I was like, wow. So, girl, talk about pivot. So you know. So let's jump in, because I'm super excited to hear your wisdom nuggets on this topic. So what moment in your life was like super critical for you when you knew like this was a moment I have to pivot in order to make it through this situation or this time? Like, what was that for you?
You know, I would say I had several moments, so it's not just one.
Okay, I hear it.
I think when I turned 40 last year, well, actually it was a little bit before, but when I turned 40 last year, I've always been, you know, in a career where I'm a helping professional. I help people. That's who I am. I love people. My name's Brenda. You know?
Yes.
And so I've always loved my job. I love young people, but I was just not happy. I was doing my job, and I was still doing it in excellence because that's what I do. And I was loving on the kids, you know, my students, but I was not happy. Like, no matter what, how many trips I went on, you know, how much time, I just wasn't happy. And so I really, you know, asked God. I was like, something has to give. I'm gonna be honest. I don't necessarily. I adapt to change, but I don't necessarily like it. I'm that person. Like, you know, on Tuesday we eating tacos, then we gonna eat tacos on Tuesday.
Tacos on Tuesdays. Don't come in and changing it to something else.
We're not eating. That's not what we're going. So I'm in my mind. I'm that way. I don't like to say that I am, but I am. But I just kept saying something has to change. And I planned 2 years before then to resign from my position because I was working on a dissertation, and I felt like I was supposed to kind of move around and work for myself. But out of fear, I didn't do it. But I don't know what it was about turning 40 that I just decided, listen, I'm gonna just jump out here and I'm just gonna tell my principal, I'm gonna tell my boss, everybody that I'm going to do it. I'm gonna put the paperwork in so then I can change my mind.
And go back.
I did that for me. Like, I can go back. This is gonna be official. I'm gonna make sure they put this paperwork in. She's gonna sign, and it's gonna be a done deal. I don't care what happens. And that I did it scared. I was so scared. I also so like I don't have any biological children. I got a lot of godchildren, nieces and nephews, but I don't have any biological children. I'm not married, so if I was gonna jump out, this was the time. I didn't have to worry about, you know, somebody else. If I was going hungry, I was gonna be
that's gonna be impacted by making this major life change.
If I was gonna struggle, I was gonna struggle by myself. So I think it was age 40 or something that clicked on for me. That was like, something has to change. I didn't think it was gonna change this drastically. You know, my entire life
Never do.
Like I did. I was like, let me jump out while I can. And it's been an adventure since I've jumped. But that it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't one moment. But I just knew, you know, you can feel that in your heart. You can feel it and then even in your emotions, like something has to give, something has to change. And my life wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna, you know, like it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't terrible. I was making good money. You know, I was helping others. I'm a counselor by trade. I was, you know, able to do all that stuff, but I wasn't happy. Like on the inside, I was just not happy. So,
and distinction for people. Yeah. And I think that's a good distinction for people to understand that sometimes when it's time to pivot, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something bad or something wrong going on. It just means that now it's time to turn. Like it's time to turn. And you can still and keep some continuity of what you're doing and who you are. And that's not necessarily what that means. They're not synonymous. Sometimes change can be the best thing that ever happens to you. You know, we were talking before we started recording just about my journey and how I got in here. God knew that if he left it up to me, I'll still be on that corporate job, because entrepreneurship was never something that I desired. Like I wasn't the person like, oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. No, I love that corporate space. It was like, I could live here like forever.
You punch out, and every 2 weeks you get a check. And that's it.
You know, bosses, and I had it made because I always worked for the person who was the person. You know what I'm saying? So I was always working for the CEO of something or the chief of something. So it was like I was always number 2. So it was like a big deal. Oh, you want to leave early on Friday? Have at it. Because they know I'm going to get done what I need to get done so I can make that happen. So it's not always a bad thing. And I think that's important for people to remember. So now that you took this leap, you made this big decision, and then 2020 happened. 2020 came in like
like a wrecking ball. Man, I don't even have any words for 2020. I think though, God was really preparing me. I'm not gonna say that I knew something like this was gonna happen in 2020. I'm not gonna say I knew, you know, we were dealing with COVID and, you know, this Black Lives Matter movement. I didn't know all that. But I felt like I went to Uganda in August. I was there for 2 weeks. And when I tell you it changed my life, it was just a lot. So I got back and my emotions were all over the place. I couldn't sleep well. I was just bothered. Not just about that. I was just bothered. I was just very uncomfortable. Nothing I did comfortable. Eating ice cream, watching YouTube, you know, I was so uncomfortable. I was trying to finish my book and I was triggered by some old stuff that happened. And so I thought in August-ish until December, well, I'm saying to my birthday in January, I felt like I was on a roller coaster. And I don't even ride rides because I'm scared of it. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like I did. So, child, and then March hit, I was just like, okay, Lord, at this point, it's like, I'm gonna have to trust you because I don't know what's going on. So yeah, it's been real. It's been really real.
I can only imagine. So I'm sure you had some sort of plan after, you know, taking that leap, like, right, thoughts of what you thought you were going to do. What were some of the things that you had to change?
Everything. Everything. And
all of it.
Talk a little bit more off, you know, once this is over. But I figured, you know, I would just do some consulting work with some agencies here and there. Some stuff connected, some did not. The money, of course, was an issue because I wasn't rich, you know, I wasn't making it rain, but I could make it drizzle a little bit, you know, so I was like, you know, having like this excessive amount of money, or, you know, people are able to come to me and ask for stuff. Yeah. All of that kind of like went down the drain.
Like, Lord, I done went from drizzle to drop.
And that's another thing, and I'm gonna pause here and say, don't spend money that you don't physically have. Just don't. Mm-hmm. Like, as an entrepreneur, that's just a person. You don't have it. Don't spend money like in your mind if you don't already have it. And so for I thought, you know, by October I was gonna have this, and then by December I'd be set. And a lot of those deadlines, that was kind of like, when I tell you, I ain't been that broke since college. Nobody could really tell because I'm blessed in that I have lived, me and my sister are both, you know, single. She has a daughter who's 19. Her daughter at the time, my niece, was at Miles College in Alabama. So we lived together for almost 10 years because, you know, you're splitting bills.
Right.
So I knew I was going to have somewhere to stay. And, you know, in regards to like food, I needed to lose weight anyway. So that's what I was thinking. Mind you, I'm 40. I'm not 20. 20-year-olds think like that.
They do.
Back to college.
40-year-olds, honey, we hungry. We want to eat.
Right. So my mind literally went back 20 years. I'm telling you, I was triggered, I guess, from my past. I don't know. But none of that plan really worked out. Other than I was going to have my book published and launched by January 1st, 2020. That's the only thing that worked out in all the only thing.
So why do you think that was? Because your book is, and just the title itself, I was like, oh, she like went there.
And I think that's why when you said we connected because you're so honest and real without even trying to be. That's what you exude. So it's just me. So if you know me, you know I really don't hide much. You know, and a lot, you gotta watch who you tell your business to. Man, I don't care. I really don't. I don't. If something that I went through can help the next person heal or be restored, then I'm just gonna tell you. Like everybody have a past, you know, and if what I say
That's
to you
hard.
or let you know that you can get over something, be delivered from something, be set free from something, I'm gonna tell you, yep, I had a porn addiction. I'm gonna tell you that. Yes, I'm gonna tell you, yep, I am 41, almost 42, and I'm a virgin. I'm gonna tell you all of that. Because at this point in my life, that's who I am.
And I think right, that was another reason why we just clicked so, because I'm just like, okay, what? You know, and I did a book last year for my birthday, and it was supposed to be a book. It wasn't supposed to be published. It was supposed to be a private thing. But I let my mom and my friend talk me into publishing it, which I'm glad I did. You know, it was a guy. But, you know, when I was writing it, I was like, why they need to know that? But why? They don't even know me. Like, but since it came out, I'm like, honey, I'm so free. It's like, what you like? It was like an Eminem moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like an Eminem moment. I'm finna tell it all and diss it all. So when you get the mic, you ain't even got nothing to talk about now.
That whole concept.
What you gonna say?
And for me, it was not necessarily people. Like, you know, everybody has, you know, issues here and there because we're human and we mess up. But my battle has always been with myself. You know, you say, I have no enemies. When I battle, it's literally in me. So my battle is demonic forces. You know, if you believe in things, they're real to me. So all my business was more so letting Satan know you have no hold over me. I have no secret. I have no skeletons in the closet, not because I'm perfect, but because every time I want to get in there, a bone is in there, I'll pull it out. So because because I dealt with shame and condemnation so much growing up, you know, depression and different things like that, I'm not going to allow you to have anything to hold over my head. So how about I tell before you can say something? And so that was my thing, you know? That's why it was so easy for me to write my business in a book. I don't care.
And that is so good, because if we hold on to that stuff, it's you can't turn because it's too heavy. You're gonna turn and you're gonna fall flat on your back because everything you carrying is gonna make you hit the ground. So you gotta get all that stuff.
You gotta get.
People don't realize that you gotta deal, like, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you gotta deal with that stuff because it's gonna show up over here if you don't.
Yes. So a lot of stuff that I was dealing with, like I said, October, November, you know, the whole triggers, and then, you know, jumping into full-time entrepreneurship. Like you said, I never wanted to be my own boss. I'm not that type of person that don't take orders or follow rules. You know, I have to be compliant. I know how to do what I need to do and work in excellence. So I've never been that type of like, I need to work for myself. Because in my mind, I was like, you know, you go just do your job. But I understand now that entrepreneurship is way bigger than just working for yourself. It's having a kingdom and being free enough in your time and even with your funds to advance God's kingdom. Like you said, to support people that others may not even know their names. So just to help pull somebody else up. It is so, entrepreneurship is so much bigger than just being your own boss, or I'm running my own stuff, or I'm a big boss kid. So much more than that.
You know, you're speaking my language now, because I tell people all the time, especially if they come to me for consulting or they want to join one of my programs, tell me why you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yes, why?
And if they lead with, because I want to get away from my boss, I'm not the person for you. You're going to need to go find another coach. You're going to need to go find another consultant, because let me tell you, business is about relationships.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is about serving.
Yes, that's it.
So if you trying to get away from one boss, you're going to get over here and be real mad and disappointed, because you're going to have multiple bosses. They call customers. They call clients. They call vendors. Hey, you will be mad, boo. Yeah. So what I'm not going to do is take your money and let you be disappointed and disillusioned about what you're coming into.
That's good.
You're not going to do that.
That's good.
So it's about serving, and it's about relationships. I tell people all the time, the money, the success, everything that comes behind that is a byproduct because you served somebody, because you gave something of value. Yeah. That's what that's about.
Yes.
Everything else is a byproduct. And learn how to pivot, because you're going to have several moments in this thing, in life, in business, where you're going to have to be like, whew, okay, that didn't quite go as planned. Okay, what we about to do? How we finna turn from this? And sometimes you got to be able to turn quick. Like, you don't even really have a whole lot of time to think about it, because, honey,
push down. I'm like, somebody push me, but you better hop right back up. Don't lay there.
You better get up. Look, here's my rule. You get 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes. I scream, cuss, whatever you need to do in the 3 minutes. But at the end of the 3 minutes, boo, I'm gonna need you to have a solution. You're gonna have to move on. You're gonna have to do something, because you to get stuck in that space.
That's real life.
You can't afford to get stuck in that space, because if you do, it's going to take you that much longer to get back. It's going to take you that much longer to be able to shift. It's going to take you that much longer to get to the end goal. So you can't stay there. Oh my God. We could just talk about this like forever. So what would be your number one tip to somebody who is really having a difficult time, like adjusting or pivoting in their life right now with whatever it is they're going through?
Just overall?
Just overall. What would you say to them?
I think you kind of said it when you were talking about there are times when you don't have, there are times, well, let me just say this. I pivot and I move because God tells me to move. And so, and I used to be like that. I used to be like, I'm grown, I make my own decisions. I'm not even gonna lie. Once I realized that I don't care how many degrees I have, how many, people know me, how gifted I am, how many people love me. If I'm not led by God, because God created me and gave me this purpose, then I'm lost. Okay. So I found myself for a long time kind of going in circles, like I'm back here. I was here last year. I'm back here in my mind. I'm back here in my emotions. I'm back here, on my job in this way. Why?
That's good.
I listen to the voice of God. Now, I'm not saying that I be obedient all the time, because I don't. That's something that I'm still working on. Yeah. But I've learned to move when God says move. I don't have that issue of, oh, is this God? Is it me? It's the devil? And if that's your issue right now, really ask God to become a little bit more clear to you, because God will. God is a living God. God answers. You know, it's shit, like, period. God answers. It ain't always or like, oh, my child. Sometimes it's like, girl, get up. Or I know who you talking to. That's how I hear God. I don't know how y'all hear him.
Or are you done? Look, my favorite is, are you done now?
I've heard that several times during this whole transition, but I pivoted. After a while with knowing yourself, let me go back to that. When you know yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, when you have a sense of, you know, you have like this discernment when it's time to move around. Sometimes you don't know exactly which direction to go, but you can sense when I'm about to shift, or something needs to change, or I need to move. And so when I'm feeling, then I gotta go seek God and say, okay, am I going right or left? What am I? And I didn't used to be that way. I used to just kind of be like, what is going on? Let me take a trip, you know, or okay, whatever. Maybe if I wake up and feel better. But I'm so much more in tune to myself. Like I said, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. There's a sense that there's something that you just kind of know. It's a knowing that you have when it's kind of like, nah, like even if you're gonna do business with somebody, sometimes it's just like, nah, I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know, let me talk for a minute. And then you go, hey, you find out some things. But it's just knowing
I'm quick to be like,
And I get along with a lot of people, not everybody, but I get along with a lot of people. So for the most part, if somebody asks me like, hey, can you do this? Or you want to, you know, I'm inclined to say yes. But what I've learned is, even if I want to say yes, I say, give me a minute to think about it. Because, you know, I want to say yes, but I am being led by the Spirit of God, because again, it's not even all about me. I'm just the front person. Like, it's so much more, it's so much bigger than me with this whole thing, that I have to, you know, sometimes stop for a minute, you know, stop being this girl on fire when everybody, you know, big you up and tell you how great you are. And that's good. But I have to sometimes say, okay, my life is not my own. Like, legitimately, it's just not. And I understand. Yeah. And so sometimes I got to pause and be like, okay, God, what should I do? And God ain't.
That's good. That is so good. I hope y'all caught that, because there were so many gems, you know, being aligned with what God wants you to do, being aligned with your purpose, and being in tune with yourself. Like, you need all of those, and you need all of those daily.
Yes.
But especially when it's time to shift, because if you're not clear on who you are, not clear on your purpose and why you were put here in this earth, you're going to struggle. I don't care what you're doing.
Yes, definitely.
That's just that. So, oh my gosh, this was so good. I'm so glad you said yes.
I'm so glad.
Oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, she said yes. I was so excited. So I really appreciate you saying yes. So, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Enjoy this, which I know you did, because there were so many wonderful gems. Hit the love button, hit the like button, share with anybody you know that needs to hear this message about pivoting. Tell us what your key takeaway was. We want to hear from you. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Your Admin Expert, and subscribe to the email list at yourvirtualadminexpert.com for even more tips, tools, and strategies that I always share on social media. Tell these beautiful people how they can connect with you.
I am Frenda Rogers on, I think, all social media. So it's Frenda. Last name is Rodgers. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I think though Twitter, I might be Frenda Renee, my middle name. So FrendaRenee.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And if y'all need some support with them children, homeschooling and all, and tutoring, because I'm sure, I don't know if y'all doing this hybrid model or sending your little kids back and I don't know what y'all over there with children. I don't have no more. So praise the Lord, I don't have concerned about that. But if you are somebody who needs some support with homeschooling them little children and tutoring them, y'all need to send Brenda at Access Chicago College and Careers at gmail.com so she can help y'all out. Remember, don't come looking for me because I ain't got no little people. You need to send Brenda an email, okay? And I will see you next week for another session of Leading Behind the Scenes. Have a good night.